everyone, welcome to Almost Cyber News. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. And to all of my subscribers, thank you so much for supporting and watching my videos. In my last video, I discussed some questions that can help us evaluate how safe our password is. One of the questions has to do with Password Manager. If you haven't watched that video, you should watch it. One of my subscribers asked two important questions. To that subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate your comment. I will be discussing one of the questions in this video. With the Password Manager, I'll briefly talk about Password Manager, just briefly mention what Password Manager is all about. How Password Manager works when you create passwords. I know we all have different passwords for our accounts, and most of us are guilty of reusing our passwords. The danger of reusing password has to do with when you have different accounts. If one of the accounts get compromised, it will affect all of your other accounts. In other words, if you use the same passwords for your online bank account and you use the same for your social media like Facebook or other social media accounts, if your Facebook account get hacked, then it is easy for hackers to use the same credentials to access your online bank account. This is when Password Manager comes in. With Password Managers, all you need to do is create a master password that can keep all of your passwords. I know that's scary. With Password Manager, you just have to remember one unique password for your account. So that's going to be a password that keeps all of your other passwords, like a container that keeps all of your passwords. So in my research, I found out that there are many password managers, and there are some that you should never use. There are some that you should never use, and there are some that are really good. Let's talk about the security features that some of these password managers are built with. From my research, I found out some things about some of the password managers and some that are not really good and you shouldn't use. So one of the things that I found out about Password Manager is it stores your passwords in a secure vault. So that means you only have to create a master password that stores all of your passwords. And some of these password managers allows you to use unique passwords for your account. They can even alert you if your account is compromised, and some have zero knowledge of your passwords. Yes, I know the question that will come to mind is, okay, if I'm storing my passwords in this application, how would they know what my password is about? So from what I found out about some of the password managers, you can store your passwords and they have no idea of what your password is. And another thing is that they use encryption standards. We have what we call Advanced Encryption Standard, AES 256. So this kind of an encryption standard is very strong. It would take time. I haven't heard of someone cracking a password with that kind of encryption. So it would be very difficult for an hacker to crack your passwords if your password is encrypted with that kind of encryption. So an encryption generally is, it makes in case of data loss, it makes the information unreadable to your hacker. It makes it difficult to crack your password. So there's something we call SALT in and hash in security. So this has an extra layer of security. It had some special characters to your passwords that makes it unreadable to hackers to easily see what your password is. So some alert you if they find out that your details have been compromised, or if they receive any news that there is a security breach on your account, or if any of your account has been compromised. And also, some have no access to data in your vault. So what I mean by that is, one of the password manager that I found, um, one of it explained that they don't know what your password is, and then the master password that you created to store those passwords, they don't know what the password is. So in this case, what happened in this case is, if you end up creating a master password for that account, and you, in one way or the other, you share that password with someone else, or probably you unintentionally get a malware on your system that compromises your systems, and your master password um, get into wrong hands, then that could be a problem. Are really good, and some you should never use. And I think there are some free ones that you should even never use. And that brings me to some possible risks that I think could occur if you use password manager. It doesn't mean this has happened yet. I haven't read about this kind of issues happening yet, but it could happen. So what could happen is, the company that you're putting the trust in to keep your passwords might spy on you. It hasn't happened yet, but it could happen. They can spy on you, they can spy on your passwords, they can see your credit card information, or report your personal information to anyone, and all your communications to someone else. But I would like to explain that this hasn't happened yet. It hasn't been in the news, that's never happened, but it could happen. It could happen, but that being said, companies want their customers to trust them, right? You're trusting them with your information. So if things go wrong, it's going to be on the company, right? But then you have to help yourself, in the sense that when you're creating this master password for your account, you have to make sure that it's a very unique one, that it's a password that you haven't used before. And so these are some of like the possible risk of using password manager, but this hasn't happened yet. It could happen, but it hasn't happened yet. Which brings me to that same question that I asked in the video. Do you use password manager? Yes or no? There's no wrong or right answer to this. You can decide to use a password manager or not. You can decide to use it. You just have to make sure that if you use one, you shouldn't use a free password manager, and then you shouldn't share your master password with anyone. Also, if you decide not to use it, there are many ways that you can protect or create secure passwords. And also, if you decide not to use it, make sure you don't reuse passwords on your account. Make sure you have different passwords for your account, especially your bank account, your your other important accounts that you have. Make sure you don't reuse passwords for them, because if one account gets compromised, it is very easy for it's very easy for an attacker to use the same password to log in into your important account. And that brings me to the end of this video. In my next video, I'll be doing a video answering the second question that my subscriber asked, which has to do with what if password manager get hacked, or do password manager get hacked. I'll be talking about that in my next video. And you can also comment. I'll see those comments, I'll respond promptly. You can Just you can ask questions and let me know your thoughts about it. And this channel, like I said, is about learning, educating ourselves, and also having fun. If you made it to the end of this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.